Hello, my name is Olga Oropesa, and today I will be sharing a brief history of one of the people who helped shape the city of Los Angeles. Welton Becket is one of the chief architects that helped define the Los Angeles cityscape. He was born in Seattle in 1902 and studied architecture at the University of Washington. He spent 1 year postgrad at the École des Beaux-Arts in Fontainebleau. After leaving Europe, he moved to California, where he ran into Walter Witterman, a former classmate, while studying at the University of Washington. After a random encounter while in California, the pair decided to move back to Seattle at the onset of the Great Depression to establish a partnership. However, in 1933, Witterman gets a call from his former boss, Charles Plummer, asking him to come back to California. Soon, Witterman and Becket joined Plummer to establish a new firm. The firm got its first lucky break when they were contracted to design the Pan Pacific Auditorium in 1935 after winning a competition for the National Housing Exposition. The trio concentrated mostly on residential designs in the 1930s. The economic hardships meant fewer development contracts. They did the best they could to get by those very difficult years. They also took on projects designing smaller restaurants and shops. For example, in 1935, they designed the Clifton Brookdale cafeteria located in Broadway in the city of Los Angeles. The owner of the restaurant chain wanted to create an over-the-top design which attracted customers through those very tough years of the Great Depression. The design of this building attempted to create a kitschy redwood California experience. It is considered one of Los Angeles's most iconic buildings and one of the longest operating restaurants, although not continuously, in the city's history. Plummer died in 1935, and Becket and Witterman decided to continue their work and rename their firm Witterman and Becket. The notoriety they had received as a result of winning the competition for the National Housing Exposition facilitated encounters and eventually contracts with Southern California's wealthiest people, including the Hollywood celebrities. Becket and Witterman were both brilliant designers. However, Becket was the charmer and the businessman. Their firm went on to become one of the country's most well-known firms of the time. In 1939, they designed the Jai Alai Auditorium in Manila. The president of the Philippine Islands was so impressed by the work of the Pan Pacific Auditorium that he consequently hired them for the project. The end of World War II marked a new phase of design for Becket. For the first time in his career, he no longer had to worry about the scarcity of neither materials nor the lack of funds for projects. He took full advantage by concentrating mostly on the design of commercial buildings. He won numerous awards for his designs. Beckett's principle of design, planning, and the construction all helped define Los Angeles city skyline. He did this by setting a new standard of using lightweight construction methods, modular office design, and the principle of total design. Total design involves the firm to take responsibility for master planning, engineering, interiors, furniture, fixtures, landscape, and even signage. Their firm hired hundreds of people from all over the country to help with the design of not just a building, but also to help create experiences for this new modern age. After having worked closely together for about 20 years, his partner and friend Witterman died in 1949. Becket renamed the firm Welton Becket and Associates. Shortly before his death, Becket had assumed the role of CEO, overseeing and hiring talented architects to work. One of his greatest skills was to attract and retain gifted designers, not just architects. He was the sole owner of his firm and therefore could and until he left the firm made all the final decisions. Today, most architecture historians agree that his work is not immediately recognizable. Becket never truly developed a singular personal style like the Frank Gehry's of the world. He did, however, believe that a building should reflect the client, not the architect. He, like many other modern designers of his generation, thought good design came from functionalism and meeting the client's needs. For most of his career, he incorporated streamlined modern design, international style design, and late modern design style elements to most of his buildings. In 1952, Becket became a fellow of the AIA as one of the youngest architects to receive the honor. He's most remembered for his iconic work in the beautiful city of Los Angeles, which include the Pan Pacific Auditorium, the Capitol Records Building, the Los Angeles Music Center, the Bullocks of Pasadena, the Beverly Hilton Hotel, the Parker Center in Los Angeles, Pomona City Hall, the Cinerama Dome, and he also collaborated in the famous LAX theme building. We are fortunate to have so many of these iconic buildings in Los Angeles. Many of these sites have now been officially recognized as historic buildings. I hope that you have enjoyed my presentation. I also hope you see these great examples of diverse modern architecture in the local area. You'll be able to recognize and appreciate Welton Becket's visionary genius. His designs are truly timeless works of art.